Howdy guys. So I wanted to do a little clip, just kind of like documenting myself, so I can look back on it all. Today's day 3 of Sertraline Zoloft. I'm doing 50 milligram. I feel I'm touching my stomach, I'm not really nauseous. I don't really have an appetite though. Kind of getting to where I'm like, I should eat because I haven't. I don't really want to. And then it doesn't help when I'm walking by someplace and I smell burnt food and I'm like, ew, no. I'm having moments where, since I took the first pill and it started kicking in, really, it's not moments, it's the whole time. I feel like I'm on something, dude. I know it's supposed to treat, depression as well as OCD. And I've never been on a medication for OCD. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Because, honestly, I've dealt with that my whole life. I've always had a problem with counting things. Like, the ceiling tiles with the holes in them. I have a bad problem of laying there staring at the ceiling and I'll count the holes. I've been doing that since I was little. I'll count the amount of tiles. It gets worse. It gets worse. I also have, and this is my entire life, for as far back as I can remember. I remember having it really bad as I was a kid. I would have to check the doors, make sure they were locked all the time. Have to make sure everything is turned off all the time. I have to tell myself out loud that I'm okay, I've already checked things. I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to keep doing it. Because if I don't, I'll get up all night long and keep checking things. I do have really funny stories about moments of counting things. I'm not a mathematician, dude, but I have a problem in counting. My bad. Pretty nauseous right now. Excuse me. I'm noticing I'm getting like a weird kind of gassy feeling from it all too. Kind of like, if you've ever done and you know what I'm talking about. You know how moments where you smoke way too much pot at night, late at night, and then you just munch out, and then like throughout the night and the next morning you feel like a little full and gassy and like, ooh, what's wrong with me, Kind of like that. I am feeling like everything's a little slowing down. I'm sorry for the background noise. I do feel like I'm taking twice as long, if not longer, to do the same amount of steps. Yeah. I noticed shortly after taking the first pill, I came around the corner and saw the park that, is near my house that I've been living at, the last like 12 years. I don't live there anymore, but I was just really grateful. Started talking to random ass strangers. I do that a lot though, so that's not really different. I've been trying to think of what I could compare this to, and the only way I can compare it to like some of the other, like I feel like I'm on something, and you might be like, well, what do you feel like you're on, Well, when I was 24, which was a long time ago, I had a drinking problem. I always considered myself, pothead, who like to take drugs, who when you're thirsty, you need a drink. Not bad. I grew up at a bar, though. What do you want from me? So when I was 24, I got liver damage, stomach damage, and internal bleeding, and I needed help to quit drinking. So I was taking the DT medications that were really pretty two-tone green capsules, you know? I would take a bottle a day. And that was okay. Even by my doctor. My mother, check that out. My mother got my brother to take me to the doctors to have an intervention. And he told her, he's like, you know, he's taking a bottle a day. And if that's what he needs to get through, even if he needs 10 bottles a day, it's okay, let him take it. So I did. I didn't take 10 bottles a day, I just took 1 bottle a day. A whole bottle of pills a day, DT meds, you know? And I still needed help to quit drinking because I couldn't physically stop at that point. It took me a few months to stop. But even though I was told with that medication, you know, you even have 1 drink and it'll kill you. I wasn't trying to kill myself, I just couldn't physically stop, you know? So I did drink with those pills, and we were at my nephew's first birthday party. That devastated me. I was told I ruined his birthday party. But I had a 40 with me, because I had just gotten done drinking a bottle of vodka with these pills. I drank a whole bottle of vodka, man, with those pills. Devil Springs. But the condensation on the bottle of the 40, it slipped out of my hand. And I just had one of those moments where I'm like, I don't feel like just picking it up, man. And my grandmother did. But that's kind of like how I am right now. Like, I noticed it wasn't even like a half an hour after I took the first pill. I was putting my cloak in my bag, you know, my death robe. I love that black velvet robe, man. I was putting it in my bag because I was getting a little warm, and I didn't feel like stuffing it in the bag anymore. I didn't feel like zipping it up. I didn't feel like doing anything. I'm having one of those type of moments since I got on these. Today's day 3, man. Like I said, I'm a little nauseous. I don't really feel like eating. No big deal. I mean, I've had worse, you know, thanks to meditation. You know, meditation alone, I don't feel like eating. But I do feel like I'm on something. You know, kind of like how I was when I was drinking and taking those DT medications. You just have that, dude, I don't feel like it. You know, I just don't want to deal with that right now. So that's how it is. I just don't want to deal with anything right now. I'm not having any depressive thoughts, you know, going through this whole trip of being homeless, you know what I mean, right now. I wanted to get on these pills as quickly as possible because I know it does take a few weeks for them to really start working with you. And, you know, I had a couple more weeks kind of deal until my next appointment at that point. And I'm like, dude, that's like a month and a half, man, until these pills start kicking. No, I'm not having it. I need these now. Because I don't want to, you know, get back into having darker thoughts like I did before. I'm an extremely positive person. You know, I like being happy all the time. I think life's too short to be pissy. And so I really wanted to stay on top of things. Howdy. Long time no see, dude. So I really wanted to get on these as quickly as possible. Not necessarily Zoloft, which is sertraline. The generic form is sertraline, you know, it is Zoloft. I wanted to get on something just to prevent any negative, you know, attitudes. Thank you. Dude, that means so much to me. I mean, it really does. You know, some of the ones I'm really, really proud of are what I've done since May 14th of last year. I started doing the whole God bless Freemasonry thing, which is basically the quantum mechanics of enlightenment and Freemasonry, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have said quantum field theory, because it's like the whole entire trip with enlightenment, you know, and it's just following my own path, you know, on trying to be a better person I was the day before kind of thing, you know. And, you know, I know a lot of people that I've grown up with, let alone known in my life since, that really don't think about more. They don't think about beyond. And I always do. I've always been accused of being morbid since I was a little kid. But I grew up a metalhead guitar player too, you know, so you gotta wear black and leather, and, you know, you gotta have your hair long and paint your nails black, and you're all about skulls and what have you. But I'm really proud of those ones that I've done. I'm looking forward to, and I'm speaking to you personally, right? I'm looking forward to getting into another place to stay and getting my guitar back, you know. I haven't played guitar in a year now, and that's just, figuratively speaking, just kind of killing me, dude. So I'm looking forward to, at some point, you know, just rocking out for a couple days, getting my fingers back in motion, and doing another video playing guitar and seeing how much I've progressed or declined in the last year alone of not being able to play. I'm looking forward to doing more on the Tao and the Bhagavad Gita and other materials, you know. Like I've said before, I'm looking forward to even covering some of the darker things and just giving my own adult-minded perspective versus when I first started reading those things back when I was a kid. And seeing how much my mentality has changed over those years just by rewatching these things, you know? So I do hope you're having a wonderful day today. I'm really grateful that, you know, you're watching these. That makes me, you know, really happy. At least somebody is, you know, other than myself. I don't know if you personally have ever taken any antidepressants. Like I'm just now saying, you know, I really wanted to stay on top of things. Thanks. I ended up doing some live video with it too, because I had never played with the live video, and I just wanted to see how that works. So I put a whole bunch of verses all in one video, but I was originally going to do just each one individually, and then a couple more after that to kind of like recap and all that, you know. I really like the Tao. I've always been told that it's, you know, one of the wisest books ever written, and that it can help anyone, you know, no matter what you're doing in life or what your career path or so on, you know. And I am having a little bit of issues along the way with relating it to myself, some of the verses, which is why I'm hoping for more, you know, feedback and interaction with people. So maybe other people can give me their, you know, perspective on things, and maybe that'll help me too, you know. But I also see, getting back to this whole point of the video, with my Sertraline Zoloft experience here, today's day 3, I see where it helps with OCD, and, or it's supposed to, right? And I really hope that it does, because there's so many times, I can't even tell you how many times I would cry myself to sleep because I can't stop. Like, OCD sucks, man. Like, it just sucks. Yeah. I do feel like it's kind of weird for me to laugh right now. Like, I just don't really have the energy or something. I really do feel like I'm on something. And I just compared it to when I was taking the DT meds and drinking with them at the same time. How dumb was I, man? But I was 24 and I couldn't stop drinking. And that's kind of like what I'm feeling right now. That one day in particular, my nephew's first birthday party, I had drank a bottle of vodka. And then I was drinking a bunch of beer, and I also took all my DT meds. And like I was saying a moment ago, you know, I was taking a whole bottle a day of DT meds, and it was okay with my doctor. But the bottle with the condensation just slipped out of my hand, shattered all over, and I was told I ruined his birthday party. You know, it's all my fault, it's destroyed. That's bothered me ever since. But the actual feeling of like, dude, I don't feel like bending down to pick up all that broken glass. There's someone calling me. I don't know who it is. I'll answer the phone after, you know. Leave a voicemail. But that's the way I'm feeling, is just like, I don't want to deal with anything. I wouldn't call it motivation, or a lack thereof. Just like, I'm kind of even keel. There's no highs, there's no lows as far as my mental state. You know, I'm just kind of even. And, you know, I'm hoping that some of the side effects like the nausea and the feeling of being slowed down go away. It's taking me longer to get from point A to point B. No big deal, you know, what else am I gonna do? So I don't really mind so much on that. But the whole feeling of being on something, I'm even noticing it with my vision. Like, I look down at the curb and it's like, you're on something, you know? No big deal either, you know? I don't mind that so much. I don't mind feeling like I'm on something. Hey, there's my neighbor. Yeah, so I'm just really hoping that it keeps me out of having darker moments. You know, my doctor told me, I love her, she told me that it wasn't depression that I'm going through, even though I've got a lot of things going on in my life, not just dealing with being homeless right now. Mental note, make sure you have something in your own name. I mean, like, God forbid you have an experience like mine where the end of your relationship and you don't have a place in your name. You gotta leave. Where else you gonna go? You know? And then you find out along the way too that my English teacher in high school, who was also a psychology teacher, he told us all in class, and I freaked out when I was, you know, teenager, and I'm like, dude, but because I always called him dude, man. I was a stoner. He told us all the one time that in life you will see that you will never have true friends that you'll be able to count on more than one hand. You know, and if you have one handful of friends, you know, along the way, you're doing really good. And to be honest, you know, I did freak out on him. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? You know, like, I've got hundreds and hundreds, you know. No, you really don't. So I'm hoping that along the way, these pills will keep me from having dark moments in my mentality. Because the last time I was here, I spent like 3 months out on the streets. Literally 3 months to the day. And I had a lot of suicidal thoughts, man. Just feeling like I'd be better off dead. Nobody gives a shit about me, you know? What the fuck? Who cares? You know? But, I'm trying to avoid all that. So I got on these now. And, hopefully it's gonna work, because I don't want to have those moments. If not, I'll try something else, you know. But I just want to do a little bit of an update, you know. It's day 3, kind of acknowledge what I'm on, what I'm doing. Sertraline, the generic form of Zoloft. I almost called it Zyrtec for a second. I haven't taken my Zyrtec and Benadryl for a while, but I had spent years. Every day I would take a Zyrtec, and I would end up taking about 10 Benadryl, or more. Sometimes there were moments I would take, you know, up to 20 Benadryl a day. I've been honest with my doctor, and I told her that too. I try not to hold anything back. I try to be honest. Yeah, I know, right? I'm an honest person, you know, so I didn't want to lie. But I did tell my doctor too, with this questionnaire for antidepressants, I'm like, This is kind of shit, you know, people want to put you in straitjacket for, and I'd rather lie. I'm like, you know, like, honestly, I think it's better if I lie, but I can't lie. Like, I just can't lie. That's who I am. But I'm like, I would rather not answer these questions ever again. So hopefully I won't have to. But, yeah. I haven't taken the Zyrtec and Benadryl in a long time. At some point, you never know, because my skin disorder, that I may end up needing to. But hopefully that'll be a long time after taking these pills, so I can get used to these ones. I don't really like being on pills that mess with your head. I don't like being on pills, period, you know? But I don't like being on pills that change your head. I had some problems with taking Chantix and what is the name of that pill that I took? Lyrica. Yeah, they messed with me. The Lyrica, I almost keep calling it Zyrtec. That's why I'm having this pause. But the Zyrtec, I'll just call it Zyrtec. That crap, the Lyrica, if I had had to take another bottle, I would have killed myself. And that's just being honest. You know, like, if I had been on one more month's supply of that pill, I would have killed myself. I was starting to have all kinds of negative thoughts. And then when I got on the Chantix, which I've had all my stuff stolen the last time I was here, and I have been smoking since, you know? Oh well. But that I had to drink with them, and I don't really drink anymore, but I was getting really pissy. And that's a nice, polite way of saying, like, I wanted to hurt people, so I drank with them. And I grew up, you know, since I was like a baby, having Jack Daniels. My mom, apparently, my mother, not my mom. There's a difference. Yeah, she would put Jack in my bottle. You know, so I grew up on that, and we have always had a bottle around me at some point, whether I drink anymore or not. But I had drank all of the last bottle. It took me like 2 days to get through the last bottle, and I was taking that. I was drinking with the Chantix to help alleviate some of the like anger issues, because I'm not an angry person, and I don't like that. And I just figured, okay, if I rock out for a minute, you know, pop in some favorite tunes and sing, because I do sing, you know, I didn't have the ambition or whatever to sit down and play guitar and get myself out of it that way. So I just drank and rocked out for a minute. I drank, you know, a bottle of Jack in 2 days, and then a bottle of Jim Beam Black Cherry. With some black cherry Pepsi, and it was really good. My bad. And I needed that to not be as angry and violent in my thoughts. And I'm hoping these pills don't do that to me, because my ex's niece at the time, she stood outside with me at like, what, 2 in the morning or something, right? I, was outside having a smoke, and she came home from work or whatever, and she's like, you have no idea I want to kill you. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and you have no idea how violent your death is actually going to be. You need to understand that I'm not joking, and that I am trying to come up with the most violent of all possible ways for your death. You know what I mean? So I was pissed. And being on medication, at that point I was on the Chantix, and I was drinking with it. I was giving her ideas on how to kill me in violent ways. She said she wanted it violent. Here you go, bitch. Let me give you some ideas. So that's what I did. And it wasn't very pretty because she was sleeping in the next room over with thin walls, and I could hear she was having nightmares with the shit that I was telling her. Example? Why not, dude? Here's an example. I told her I wanted to have her take out my duodenum. I pronounce it as duodenum. And put it in a Ziploc storage bag, yellow and blue made green, and send it to my sister-in-law because I think she'd really appreciate it. I also told her to pop out my eyeballs with a spoon, put them in the freezer on top of an ice cube tray so that they're, you know, on top of the ice cube tray and it won't damage the actual shape. Let them freeze and go get your own stiletto hues, bitch. And then stomp on the cornea as hard as you can and see if you can get the eyeball gunk to pop out. You know, like, I mean, I'm a peaceful person. Who says that kind of shit, you know? I did. So, and that was for somebody else. I'm really hoping that it doesn't do that to me with these pills. Because I know with antidepressants, you know, it will increase suicidal thoughts or activities. And I'm not a suicidal person. I'm just going through a little bit of a rough spot right now because I didn't have anything in my name as far as a place to live and where you're going to go. When nobody in your family or your friends or whatever either A, want to help you or be around you, or B, they really can't do anything at that point, you know? So my mind, in the last time I was here and sleeping out on the streets for 3 months, I wanted to die, man. I saw no point in being alive. I thought my whole life was meaningless. I've been an entertainer. I've been on the D list all those years. What the fuck does it matter, man? Like, it's not doing shit for me. It's not paying for my bills. It's not paying my food, you know? It's not giving me something to eat right now. It's not even buying me a cup of coffee. You know? So I was in a dark, dark place, and that's not who I am. And now these antidepressants, I know that they have a tendency to exacerbate these things and bring them out of you and help you to have those thoughts, even though they're designed not to. So we'll see how it goes. So far, I'm doing really good. I'm staying even-keeled. You know, I'm not having any seriously happy moments other than feeling gratitude once in a while here and there. And I'm not having any dark thoughts, so that helps. It's only day 3, you know, so hopefully it'll get a lot better. You know, like I've said, I don't mind the feeling of being on something. I just kind of hope the nausea goes away, and I hope the feeling of, wow, man, I'm only here. Like, I thought I would walk a whole lot faster at this point. It's slowing me down. So I hope that kind of, you know, goes away and I feel back to normal again. Because I don't like taking pills. You know, I just can't handle that. Now, if I were a teenager, you know, that whole mindset, sure, hand me all the pills you want, man, but I'm getting older and being on pills is not for me. So I'm taking 50 milligram to start out. We'll go from there. I have an appointment next month for an adjustment if need be, and I'll update you along the way. And hopefully I'll be able to look back and see, wow, man, that really does help. And I'm learning that, like I said, this helps with OCD. I'm really hoping this does help with my OCD because, like, there's times when it's really, really, really bad and I'll cry myself to sleep praying to God, please make this shit go away and stop. I can't stop counting. I have a bad problem counting. It's not with some of them, like where you wash your hands a million times or whatever, or OCD with germs or anything, you know, it's where I count things. I've given a couple examples a moment ago of what I count. Here's another example. The text on the commercials, you know, like you'll see the logo for the name up here at the top, and then there's some text at the bottom. I count how many rows, how many different types of letters, different text font, you know what I mean? I count and I add things. It bothers me. I don't want to be like this. I don't know if that has been because of my childhood and I had, you know, a lot of scary moments as a kid, because I know that I've been clenching my teeth ever since I was a kid, and I can't stop with that either. So I'm really hoping that that'll help with it, because like all along my jaw line and everything up into my head, it hurts all the time because I can't stop clenching my mouth. Hopefully it'll help, man. And I'll be able to look back on this video at some other point later on down the road and see if it has or not. So if you've had an experience with antidepressants or Zoloft, you know, 50 milligram is what I've been doing, and let me know your take, dude. So I'm gonna let you go because it's getting pretty windy, you know, and I don't want to have it all like and you can't hear anything. So love y'all. Namaste. Have a great day. Take a couple of minutes to rock out and enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you soon, alright? Thank you very much for being there for me. Please feel free to subscribe, share all the videos you want, watch them all you want. I don't care, man. Run it up. Namaste. Bye. Take care, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. And thank you, too. I really appreciate you. I really do. Later, boss.